Right, we're going to talk about long logs,
Long logs.
which
We
I
love you.
absolutely,
You're very
as Dan always
special.
laughs at me because I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. that
You know
I-
what? You can say it now because you get to say
Yeah,
it for the
thank you,
segment.
thank you so. Yeah, thanks for giving me
Thank you,
permission.
Dan.
I kept saying how I've not been to the cinema since Barbenheimer, which was the Oppenheimer and Barbie unplanned double feature, I'd say.
Yeah,
The studios didn't plan it.
It worked because it wasn't planned.
It worked because
Yeah.
that's exactly right. It worked because it wasn't planned. Yeah, and I saw this buzz around this movie called Longlegs, starring character actor Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And I love a good weird movie, and I wanted to go see it. You wanted to go see it. But
We
needs
love
to say,
you.
Dan has
You're
been to
very
the cinema
special.
since Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
maybe a few times.
Maybe I've been like once or twice, but yeah.
Is that it?
Barbenheimer was the last big.
Yeah,
time I
the
remember
cinema's
going to the
kind of
cinema.
lost its charm a little bit recently. But we'll blame Deadpool and Wolverine for that, and just Marvel in general, maybe. But
We could also put a bit of blame on COVID, maybe.
nah, I'm going to stick with Marvel. I'm going to stick with Marvel.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll give that.
Oh
one. Yeah.
Lord. But I really wanted to go see it, and I heard nothing but good things. We saw it yesterday.
I'm gonna come.
I really enjoyed the film. I think even if people didn't like it, which I can see people maybe not because it's not really like a traditional horror film. I think you got to respect the fact that it's like, you know, the horror movie genre is so like tiresome now. Like it's so like it's been done so many times.
Yeah.
What can you do that's new? And it's probably the last horror film I've seen since Talk to Me that I think's done something really cool with the genre.
Totally.
You know, there was like 2 adverts before we went to go see before the movie played, and it's such like generic Hollywood slop, like horror movie, and it's like I'd much rather watch, like, even if I didn't like Longlegs, like you can at least respect the fact that like you could just tell it was going for it's a low budget kind of indie horror film, which I can always respect more than a high budget. I'm sure you second all that, but
We love you. You're very special.
No, I agree. I mean, I think that, like you said, the trailer's playing for a lot of these other horror movies. And we even talked about it in the car ride home. A lot of these other horror franchises that kind of devolved, like Insidious, Saw is a good example too. Conjuring, yeah, of these franchises that just became such studio slop. That's like just
studio slop.
Yeah, it's just regurgitating the same shit and doing a lot of these just jump scare tropes. And, you know, it doesn't mean that all those movies are actually like terrible. Like some of them are decent, but when you get something like Longlegs or Talk to Me is a great example.
Yeah.
These movies that are clearly made with like more intent and more deliberate sense of like what they're trying to say and what story they're trying to tell. And I thought Longlegs honestly was very unique. I thought that it did a lot of things that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
It kind of walked the line. Like I thought it came on, it actually had a higher budget presentation than I thought it would. And what I mean by that is they had a lot of sets and there was sort of more characters in it. I thought it would be a bit more like compact or smaller budget, but
I think the director used the budget extremely well.
That's what I'm trying to say.
The direction was really great. Like again, that's a hard thing to do in the horror genre. I think is do a directing.
Yeah, I'll say that because it did. I'll rephrase what I said. You know, because it definitely
you're all right.
It definitely didn't have like a huge studio budget, but I think they used the budget really well in the sense that everything they did, it made it feel like more of a full proper movie, even though you could tell it was maybe a bit pared back budget wise.
Yeah, even the small press run that they were doing for the film, like the director said, like I'm even shocked like how well the film's doing. Because I think I
love that.
I think they just weren't expecting it to do that well at the box office, and now it's like during like the press run it was like I was just checking out the like showings and stuff, and there's sessions selling out like it's nuts.
Yeah,
like we just generally weren't expecting it, and I think it deserves it. I
love
do.
That.
I'd much rather go and see that than just this like slop and jargon, and like you do get like
boring.
big studio films. Like the last one I did go see, like Barbie and Oppenheimer.
exactly,
I enjoyed both of those films for different reasons, you know.
Totally.
But I'm happy to go see like a big studio film.
It can.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to Joker 2, Dio Le Faux, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm keen for that. That's a big studio film.
That's what happened with Barbenheimer.
It became a meme.
Yeah, but I think they both became a meme in a sense. Oppenheimer and Barbenheimer.
That's what I said. Barbenheimer, both.
Oh, I thought you said Barbie, just
no,
itself.
No, both of them.
Excuse me, sorry. Me and Longlegs yesterday.
That's boring.
That's boring. No, I enjoyed it. Seriously, go
I
see
really
it.
liked it. Yeah,
Seems like everyone has gone to go see it. So.
I was.
The budget must have been small. Let me check.
I was expecting, I think you mentioned something along the lines of like almost like a Star Wars kind of vibe, where it's like,
Pardon me.
well, like Darth Vader, how he doesn't show up all that often.
Oh, you mean working? Catcher and Nicolas Cage.
Yes, exactly. I thought that Longlegs, played by Nicolas Cage, might be in it sort of more, but I think he was in it the right amount, if I had to like be honest, because. Yeah, his character.
Fuck me.
What's the budget?
Nah, it's literally incredible. It's like, so the budget's 10 million and it's so
Wow,
far made
10 million.
76.5 million.
Jeez, that's crazy.
It literally is like, it's a huge success.
It is reminding me of Talk to Me because like,
yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Talk to Me was what, like 5 million and it made over 50 million.
Yep.
So if you go smaller on the budget, you have a better chance of just 10 times in your budget.
Impressing people, and that's awesome. And it's still in the theaters, so you'll probably get to like 80.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Maybe a little more. That's awesome.
No,
yeah, it's great.
Wonderful.
I'd much prefer to support a film like that than go see some. What does Joe Biden say? The jargon.
yeah, the malarkey.
Go see like Insidious, the Last Key, or
Never heard so much malarkey in my whole life.
They had this like trailer for like, I don't know what it was. It was like some Alexa's gone evil. It's like, it's so cringe. It's like,
yeah, literally,
AI
they did have a
coming to
trailer
kill
for
you.
some assistant that started to kill the family. It was so stupid.
Alexa is coming to kill you.
Gen Z's trying to what?
Okay, we get it. Like AI is. That's just so like it's so like unoriginal. it looks so generic. Like again, like even if people don't like Longlegs, I think you can at least respect the fact that it's trying to be original. Like and I think it was just like I generally thought the directing was great. It played with aspect ratios in a really cool way.
Oh, I like that
I know
too.
aspect ratios are kind of like a bit of a. They became like a trend
Can be
for a while.
wanky film thing, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it
became
used
a thing,
it well.
and now it's like when I see a film in like 4x3, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
No, I will say, because I mentioned this after we watched the movie, I really love that Nicolas Cage, as such a big established actor, actually lends his star power to a lot of these smaller projects and these films that really benefit from having a big name on the production. But I think a lot of the time he produces them as well, so he must put money in.
Yeah, he produced Longlegs. Yeah,
and I think that's
so cool.
I think that's great. Like for him to support movies like this to be able to be made as an actor who could easily just do studio movie after studio movie,
Hollywood jargon.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And I think that he seems to really support these kinds of the kind of movies that I want to see made. Because yesterday I texted you.
Yes, that's what I'm about to ask. So you watched Dream Scenario?
I did watch Dream Scenario.
It's good, isn't it?
Also starring Nicolas Cage. So that came out last year.
Yeah.
And
that's A24, isn't it? Like
that's A24, and Longlegs was Neon.
Yeah,
and
dude. Yeah, it's a good film.
I was really impressed. I gotta say, like I was worried that it might.
I didn't mean to hurt her. I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, I was worried that it might be a little bit like. I didn't see Beau is Afraid, but you told me how that was a little bit artsy fartsy wanky.
I did see Beau is Afraid in the theater. It was fucking 3 hours long. It's a good film, but I'm a much bigger fan of Ari Aster's last two films, which
Gen Z's trying to what?
Hereditary and Midsommar.
Gen Z's trying to what?
What about
Is Ari
Gen Z?
after Gen Z?
I don't think so. I think he's like, is millennial 30, 40?
What?
Okay. I'm glad you liked it. I liked it too. If you
I
haven't
think
seen
they
it,
committed
it's,
to the concept and they
yeah,
really
so if you haven't
executed
seen it, basically it's just like literally like a regular schmegler Joe, like kind of like a bit of a low life professor played by Nicolas Cage, and he just randomly starts appearing in people's dreams,
Yeah,
and he becomes like a celebrity because he's
Yeah, that's the elevator
in people's
pitch,
dreams. But not to spoil it, it does say it's in the Hypnotis. What if a dream becomes a nightmare?
Yes.
And it's just you're watching it and you're like, why did no one ever think of this before? This is such a like good idea.
No, I think they, like I said, the way they execute the concept, I think is so good because they play out all of the scenarios of like what would happen if someone started appearing in someone's dream. Like how might it be? Again, not to spoil the movie, but how might it be used to market certain things, or how might people take that concept and interpret it? Like, do they
There's a sprite,
find it weird
like
that
a
someone's
sprite,
appearing in your?
There's a sprite joke in it that's really funny, and Michael Cera's in it. He was great in it. Michael Cera was really good in it.
And the woman who played the wife, I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head. She was fantastic.
It's really good. I
was really impressed.
I really recommend it.
And I got to say, so Kath and I watched it together, and before we went into it, I guess because she probably only really knew Nic Cage from National Treasure, she was like, he's a bit.
Yes.
And I was like, I think he's actually a really good actor. I think you just need to see him in the right.
Yeah, no,
roles,
that's fair. I think we all had that kind of like we've all seen Nic Cage in a movie that's like the fuck.
I feel like he is the type of actor that his performances can be very over the top.
Yeah.
And I think it can really work, like with Long Legs or with Dream Scenario, but it can also not work sometimes.
I liked both.
I don't think he's a bad actor. I just think
I've generally really enjoyed like two Nicolas Cage performances in the same like week.
Never thought that would be my experience.
Yeah,
but me too.
And it's actually like it's funny because like I think Dream Scenario really does give like a really good like. It's obviously something that's never happened before, but like someone appearing in someone's dreams, but like you could see it actually happening. Like if this did happen to someone, you could see it going the way that it did.
Absolutely.
And I really liked it.
Like I said, I love when you're right. I love when movies take like a concept like that and they just fully take it to the furthest logical extent of that. And I thought it was really
also
good.
not to spoil it. There's like a scene in an apartment. Which is like, it's really...
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah.
Really interesting. And I'd say super like realistic to something that probably would happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It involves a few things. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I agree. And
I'm on a Nic Cage on it seems.
I gotta say, I'm kind of Nic Cage. I'm pro Nic Cage now.
Well, he did film. I think his next film coming out is
The Surfer. Yeah,
which was filmed in Western Australia, which is where we live. So
yeah, baby. Yeehaw.
I'm not holding out too much hope for it, but either way, I'm keen for it, I guess. But I'm not holding out too much. I don't know if it'll be a great film. I hope it is.
I thought you were gonna quit.
No, I'll go see it. It doesn't seem like the kind of movie I would go see if it didn't have Nicolas Cage in it and it wasn't filmed in Perth.
Yeah.
But I did see a clip. They released a clip for it and it was pretty. It looked fun.
Again, like I said, I think props to Nic Cage by lending his star power.
I'll support it.
Yeah,
I'll produce it.
He gives these movies a credit and recognition they might not otherwise get. So he did a movie here in WA, The Surfer.
And that's unheard of.
I think that's
do
great.
love Nic Cage for that. Like, yeah, I'll come do it.
Sure, I'll do it.
I don't laugh at the dollar. What's that thing? What did you say?
I'll get the quote up. We can finish on this Nic Cage quote because it is kind of hilarious.
I don't laugh at the dollar. I respect it. Oh God.
No, man. Nick is a.
He is a true goat.
Nic Cage is a true goat.
He's a true goat.
He is a principled person. He did this quote here
In Playboy magazine.
Yes,
Of all places.
you can hit the react. Let's hope I've loaded up the right thing.
Malargan.
Let's try and. It's a big actor, but I think that he's not purely me. And I gotta say, I respect that. This is the quote. Playboy asked him, "Your salary is shooting up into the multi-millions per movie, reportedly 4 to 7 million. Do these numbers make you chuckle?" And Nic Cage just coldly responds, "I don't chuckle. I have respect for the dollar." And we love him for that. You know, that is a pretty goated response from Nic Cage. I can't lie.
We love him for that.
Well done, Nick.
We love him, folks.
Thank you for Long Legs. Thank you for Dream Scenario.
He is at that point in his career now where he's just like having fun, I think. Me watching Dream Scenario.